Hey guys, Stitches here, and I should probably tell you guys where the fuck I've been. Um, well, that just lost any form of monetization, but I don't really care. But so it's summer, and normally during the summer I record. I really haven't been, so I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of an internal update while I fold some laundry. Um, I'll try not to lift my laundry above the line, but here's basically what happened. So, I've been kind of stuck in an editing rut. So I've gotten 2 parts of Pizza Tower done out of the 5, and it's not super hard to edit. It's just the problem is like really getting myself to sit down and edit. That is one thing that's been getting me. But I've had a lot of free time. Many of you will know that I recently graduated high school. There was a video I was working on before I graduated high school. However, I said a lot of stuff that was relative to graduating or to around that time period that doesn't make sense if I released it now. So I'm gonna go back and re-record it. That and the videos just had a general lack of polish. And I feel like there were points in that video that didn't really go anywhere, so I'm gonna redo it. I also have more of a time extension on that since initially it was the 30 subscriber special, but I actually dropped back below 30 subscribers, so now I have a reason to do the 25 again. So I'm working on that. I've actually been cleaning my basement to do that video since uh it basically would involve me just cleaning out my space to do parts of the video, since parts of it have to be recorded using my camera and parts of it actually have to be recorded using OBS capture software. So I'm actually gonna cut this. All right, I've returned. The camera angle is slightly different, nature called, but the idea of the 25th, um, 25th, or not 25th, but excuse me, 25 subscriber special is I have a large collection of games, and I would like to be able to go over all of my different game collections. Because I just think it'd be neat for you guys as viewers to sort of be able to connect with me and see what games I play that I don't necessarily record or stream. And my hair, I really should brush it. I haven't been, but anyway. It's like also just going over the different consoles in my possession as well. Like looking over, I can already see like my Switch, my Nintendo console shelf, which has a Switch, a Wii U, and an N64 on it. So, that's about like all the power I need out of that shelf. And then, I have a PS5, which is, believe it or not, my first PlayStation home console I've ever owned. Um, the only other PlayStation systems I've owned are PSPs. And even then, I don't even use my PSP that much because there's, not really a game for it. I don't know why I just folded that when I'm not like in the folding stage of my laundry yet. But it's just a case of like, things have to be cleaned down here. They weren't part of it was all this laundry. And ew, there's a big old strand of my nasty hair in my clothes. But, you know, that's just the case with these games, or with those types of videos, and I've never really done them before. I'm not even really used to doing these, like, vlog type videos in a more proper manner. But rest assured, once I get Pizza Tower done, and I get them scheduled, I do want to return to doing my regularly scheduled streams. We still have to finish Peggle. Really, I only have really 3 outstanding series right now, being Peggle, Terraria, and Sonic Adventure DX. I would like to get Sonic Adventure DX done as soon as possible. I don't see it taking that long, but I can also see it taking longer than expected. The Chow Garden stuff, I'd like to show off more of it. But unfortunately, like, I don't really have the viewership to make it super fun for me. So I'd really have to, like, make myself do it. Leave the game running. So some of that stuff might be done off camera, unfortunately. But, I mean, it's kind of a grindy thing. I'll try to keep most of it on camera, or like recorded. I don't know why I say on camera. I'm not recording it with a camera. But I'll try to keep most of it, condensed to being on stream. Which brings me sort of another concern. Recently, from my understanding, Twitch has changed the way VOD saving works, where my VOD won't necessarily... I won't get a VOD of my video if there is copyrighted material in it. I haven't looked much into it, but I have heard some streamers talking about it. Starting as early as as early as last month is when I started hearing people talk about it. And that does, provide some concerns for Sonic Adventure, considering Open Your Heart got a copyright claim. And I know Twitch has been sort of going downhill with their service towards VODs. You used to be able to have as many VODs uploaded to your channel as you wanted, and VODs were turned on automatically, and then they ran into a whole issue with, oh, do we want to be like a streaming company or a VOD company? And they chose, unfortunately, to just be purely streaming. But, that's what YouTube's always for. I've been working on possibly setting up a backup as well. Possibly setting up like a backup channel, like in case shit gets copyright claimed on YouTube as well. Not like a backup YouTube channel, but on a different third platform. Because there are some platforms that don't necessarily enforce the copyright rules the same way YouTube does, so their policy is significantly better. Like, it's all manual, they don't have an automated copyright thing. One of which was, I thought about hosting my own, like, fucking website for just my videos that don't necessarily make it through YouTube, and then making a YouTube video with a link to it. Some streamers, I know Vinny, when he did streams of Live Alive back in 2022, there was a huge issue with Square Enix basically copyrighting the end to near end of the game. They use sound copyrights to get their way around it. But the reasoning for it is that Square Enix, for whatever reason, does not want you to show the endings for their games. Which, is unfortunate. This is a sock, that wasn't mine, but, it's just unfortunate that it's like that, because I would like to play Live Alive, and I've even gone on, I've even gone around anonymously on different platforms, like, asking if people, if they know, like, different Live Alive fan communities, like, if they know whether or not the videos are still getting claimed or not. Because I know it happens mainly a lot with, like, bigger things. My guess is that with the recent release of Final Fantasy 16, they're not gonna care. They really only care about Final Fantasy games and Kingdom Hearts games. I know people still get copyright claimed for things from, like, Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Final Mix. And, like, Kingdom Hearts 2.5 Final Mix and stuff. So, it's really hard to gauge what exactly is going to happen with that content. It's very volatile in what it could do, I guess is the term I would use. I should have just put my hat on, but unfortunately my hat's a little messed up right now. I washed it, and the pins that were stuck to it, some of them came undone, so it's not as decorated as it normally is. And I don't remember where I put it. It's probably just behind me on this sofa. You can't see it. There's a sofa back here. That's what this thing is. It's just got a backpack on it, which is what this is. But, there is that. All that stuff. In terms of Let's Plays going forward, I do have a new Let's Play that I have been recording that needs edited. I will not be uploading any of it until it is all finished, which, that could mean not seeing it uploaded for potentially months, maybe even a year, because of the nature of the content. So I'll go ahead and say this. It is recorded with one of my best friends, named Nate. I would say he is, like, my quintessential best friend, but, I like to give everybody a chance of equality, even though, that's not really how best friends work. I hang out with him the most. I work with him as of right now. We've been friends since, like, middle school in 7th grade, so, we've been friends for, like, 5 years. And, I trust him. We talk about a lot of stuff. And I brought him over to do a Let's Play. I gotta make the decision, like, right now whether I share what game it is. I'll go ahead and say it. We did a Let's Play of WarioWare, like the original WarioWare. And we recorded it from my Wii U. But there's some editing issues that go into this. I had to record the game audio through OBS. I had to record the game through OBS while I no look record from OBS, which one is a huge bother for me. But not only that, it required me to buy some equipment, which isn't really a problem, but it's more of just keep an eye out there. I can now record things from my TV to my computer. I got two 15-foot fiber optic cables that are HDMI cables, so I can record through effectively a 30-foot loop with a capture card in the middle and not lose a whole lot of speed. And honestly, it was quite a hefty purchase. We are mostly done with the game. However, before we continue recording, I did want to go ahead and get proper equipment so I can record all of it through OBS. And it just makes the editing process so much smoother than having to sync up a microphone audio track from my phone with the gameplay footage in what is it that I use? Is it Lightwork? I think it's called Lightworks is what I might record with. It might be a different one. I think it's made by a company called Blackmagic Design. It's just a good free editing software. Really good free editing software. It's like professional level for free. I like that there's more companies doing that, where they give you professional level tools for amateur level prices, which usually means free. Not always, though. Keep that in mind. It does not always mean free, but it means like relatively cheap as well. So, yeah, because WarioWare was a game I definitely wanted to play, but it was definitely like I'm either streaming it or I'm pre-recording it with a friend. And I chose to do with a friend because we'd been talking about getting him on the channel. Like me, he wanted to have a YouTube channel growing up, and he likes the idea of making content, but doesn't really like the idea of running a channel by himself. So he's more than willing to guest star on my videos, which I appreciate. There's a reason why I'm making this an update video and not a community post, is there's just a lot of different things I feel like we should talk about. One of which is that the community posts. I don't think I talked about it at all, but community posts got rolled out to everybody, so I've been using them. Many of you will see things that talk about like personal medical problems, one of which was ADHD medication. And so the whole story with that is I went to go talk to my doctor, potentially seeing if they can get me on, I don't know, like Adderall or some sort of ADHD medication. And because Adderall, it's a strong drug, it actually gets, peddled amongst drug dealers. It gets dealt out. They're very hesitant to put people on Adderall. And one of the more hesitations is that for so long, I have gone completely unmedicated for my ADHD. It's completely self-control. And I do a pretty good job at it. I do a pretty good job at, maintaining my ADHD completely on self-control. The problem is that at the end of my school year, at the end of my high school career, I got incredibly anxious about, how I am as a person outside of school, because like I kind of just lost that mentality of thinking about the kind of person I am outside of school. Like I thought I would think about effectively who I am as a person, who I am at school, and streaming and gaming and all that. But I didn't really have that much time to reflect on how I behave as a person. So, excuse me. Face muscles got a little weird there for a second. I didn't really think about stuff like that. So, the issue came in where it was like, I realized that if I'm not in school, it's like I go to bed really late. I sleep until. Sometimes I sleep until almost 2. And, I don't really get good sleep. So, these were these came up in questions with my doctor. And my doctor effectively said that rather than putting me on ADHD meds, my doctor wanted me to go through a couple of different tests. One of which is a sleep study for sleep apnea, which I will be doing in August. That doesn't really have any bearing on content other than the fact I can't do anything really that day regarding content because I'm not going to be able to drink coffee that day at all. I cannot consume substantial amounts of caffeine. And pretty much that whole day I'm supposed to drink water. It's supposed to help them get more conclusive results from the sleep study. And like truth be told, I think it might be sleep apnea because I usually wake up and my mouth is like gaping open and I can tell I've been breathing through my mouth because I basically have a burn on my tongue almost from like it drying out. Or like it feels like a burn. It's not actually a burn probably. Like it wouldn't be a temperature related burn, so and I mean it goes away. It's not like it's a super big thing, but it's like sleep apnea could be what's causing my overall laziness compared to like where I think I should be at as somebody with ADHD who has practiced self-control. One of the issues as well is I might just need stimulation like right now where like doing things like folding laundry is incredibly boring, so I'm doing something that seems actually useful. And I know it's a little awkward considering there's a chance I might accidentally show my underwear that I'm folding on camera. But I mean, they're clean underwear, so it's like, it's not like I'm showing you my fucking grody ass smegma underwear. Just kidding. I don't have smegma. I keep my shit clean. But, it's like, for example, that is like a thing that could happen. But, I appreciate being able to do something whilst I fold my laundry. And it's nice to have things to do. Can't wait to get like all the moms in the comments being like telling me how I fold my laundry wrong. But ooh, that sucks. Gotta go. I just threw a sock away. Why did I put? I had a pair of ripped pants, and now I'm thinking about how I need to I should probably put them in the garbage bag that's over from when we cleaned the basement. But as far as other Let's Playing goes, I do want to do Kirby's Dream Land, and some other videos I want to do are I really want to do more Introduction to series, even if I'm not starting the Let's Plays. to them, and I thought about changing the introduction to let's talk about. Let's talk is sort of another genre of YouTube content where it's basically kind of a vlog style video. It wouldn't really be me. It'd be like have these edited graphics and potentially just have a PowerPoint presentation that I prepare that I can, fast forward in live time. But one of the ones I need to do is Kirby. Because Introduction 2 was meant to be like my style of thing. It was supposed to give you sort of an expositional information dump. I'm going to move the camera a little bit. Like an expositional information dump on different series. And the Mega Man one, I like the Mega Man one. I admit it's flawed. I should have researched portions of it. I literally had a resource pulled up, and I feel like I can fix a lot of those mistakes by just, having more things to talk about, having more things to look at a time. I also want to go back for Mega Man 1 specifically and look at what the collection has for us to offer. Another thing is I've kind of just stopped caring about the little, like, oh, your friends online graphics that show up on Switch. So I'm going to be keeping those in. I think you can turn them off from the settings or even from your friend settings. But I'm not super sure. I haven't really looked into it that much. But yeah. So that's kind of where that's at. I do want to get to Mega Man 2 potentially with it before January or before the end of December this year. Another thing is I should talk about is like what have I really been doing? Truth is, I've sort of been taking this time to sort of process the transition from being out of school because like it's not just like summer break. It's like I don't have to go back to school potentially for the rest of my life. And processing that is definitely a thing that I have to do. It's like I might not ever go back to school. I might only take a few courses in community college. I might decide I want a full college career. And then I'm like, well, fuck you guys, I'm out. I'm kidding, I probably won't do that. I would probably just try to find a way to balance it. I just realized there's like all this space up here. But, I've been taking time to do that, and I've also been taking time to go back and play a lot of games that I just couldn't really play over my high school career. One of these games is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Part of the reason that spurred that decision was because of the release of Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And Tears of the Kingdom, from what I've seen, is an immaculate game. It seems to improve on a lot of the stuff in Breath of the Wild by a lot. And it does a lot of what Breath of the Wild likes in giving personality to a lot of characters you may not even interact with in a playthrough. Breath of the Wild was a game that was just brimming with personality from every single character in the game. I felt like I had a reason to talk to every NPC in a game where there's like 1,000 different NPCs I can talk to in just the one town. I must have talked to everybody in Gerudo Town at least once, and everybody in Kakariko Village at least once. So I went and I did a fresh playthrough, and I purchased the DLC for Breath of the Wild because I never did. And, you know, I've been having fun with it. Breath of the Wild used to be frustrating, but I just know more about how the game's inner mechanics work now. Where, I'm having fun. I can actually fight like tough enemies like Lynels, which weirdly they give me the least amount of trouble, probably because it's just like one target versus like a group of moblins. Because I'll tell you what, I'm doing the Hank Hill thing. I do that. I'll be like, I'll tell you what. But it's like, no. I'll tell you what, though. Fighting Lynels in the game has become really fun. To the point where I effortlessly was able to destroy a white-maned Lynel. The only thing I don't really like about fighting Lynels is they kind of just burn through your weapons. And it kind of makes them not really worth it to kill unless you're willing to trade off a weapon for, like, whatever weapon they're dropping. And unfortunately, the one I killed effortlessly actually didn't even have a Savage Lynel weapon. It was carrying a flame blade, which was it's because it's the one in the Colosseum, and the ones in the Colosseum after you defeat the divine beasts, or rather you free them, even though you're really just killing Ganon inside them. After you defeat the divine beasts, you get the ability to go back and you get the ability to just go and like fight all these enemies with the elemental weapons, which really helped with a side quest that I had that required me to get a frost spear in that game. But I've really been enjoying it, and Breath of the Wild is definitely one of those games where at some point I do want to share it with you guys. It is definitely not in the near future and probably won't be in the cards for at least a couple years. Mainly because one of the things is, from my understanding, Breath of the Wild takes place either in a new timeline or so far down the timelines that it doesn't matter which games you play before it. Which was kind of what they were going for. They tried to tie Wind Waker back to Ocarina of Time because of success reasons. Same with Twilight Princess. And then it's like, oh, well, then they tie things back to those games. Like, they made literally like a whole sequel to Wind Waker on the DS, and then a whole sequel to that game that follows an entirely new Link. So, because it's like, it's Zelda. It's not just a video game, it's Zelda. Nintendo's like second biggest franchise. That's probably not true. I think Mario is Nintendo's second biggest franchise. I think Pokemon's their first, but it's like Link's always been their like secondary poster child in my eyes. It's like when I think of NES games, I think of Mario, and then I think of Zelda right after. And then I don't know what I think of after that. I guess Ice Climber or Duck Hunt or something random. But I'm almost out of time, so I gotta wrap this up. But Zelda's a big game, and I'm still not even close to done with it the way I'm playing it. And there are days where I sit down and I play it, and I think maybe I should be streaming it. And then there's like times where I'm like, I'm really glad I'm not streaming it, because I can just have as much personal satisfaction with the game as I want. Although, I will admit, it probably would get me a lot farther. But this Zelda topic does bring me to an idea I wanted for a Let's Play, which is, so I was thinking of, if I started Let's Playing Zelda, which game do I start with? I was initially considering, there were basically four options I was considering. The original Legend of Zelda, starting out with the first game in the series, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD, starting with the first in the series chronologically, for the most part. I know Tears of the Kingdom apparently might predate the Era in the Sky in some parts. But then it's like, well, I have those two, and it's like, or do I want to start with Ocarina of Time, get into, like, what is considered one of the I guess by some it's considered the magnum opus of the series. And then there was another game. Another option was to just stream Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, and then eventually go back, or just play, like, whichever one I want first. And then I had an idea, which is, there's actually a remake of Zelda 1 that was released for the Super Nintendo, or rather the Super Famicom exclusively, that I thought would be an interesting game to play. I can't really talk too much about it because I'm almost out of time, like, available to record video footage on my phone. But it's very interesting and not very well known that there is a SNES remake of The Legend of Zelda. So I thought about playing that. At least playing map 1 of it. There's 4 different maps of it, from my understanding. But I thought about just playing that on stream. To get a sort of a feel for the whole thing. And, yeah, that would be that. Anyway, I only have a minute left of recording, so... yeah, that's sort of where I've been with my life, what I've been doing. A little bit of why I haven't necessarily been working on videos, even though I haven't been putting any out. I've been making small amounts of progress. And it's those little victories that add up and eventually will lead to quality releases on my end. Well, quality, for me it's quality, for you guys not so much. You can get better quality from probably other people, but yeah, that's really all I got. So yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video I make. So see you then.